Hello and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Lauren Laverne and Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Michael McIntyre. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Lauren, which category would you like?
Politics, please.
OK, politics is the category. The answer is 1. What is the question?
Is it how many chancellors does it take to put the shits up an economy?
Is it what grade of haircut can Andy Parsons only dream of?
Is it I've got it, I know what it is. Is it what's God's PIN number?
Is it, let's be honest, when does life start to go downhill?
Is it what does the... Wow.
Very depressing!
Yeah. I've got a lovely idea of your first words. What are you going to say, Frankie? Bleak.
Is it what might a one-legged man repeat to himself over and over again while marching?
Is it how many times did Charles and Di have sex?
Is it in what year did Jesus have a holiday booked that he never got to go on?
Is it what does the average viewer of Jeremy Kyle think the alphabet begins with?
It's not any of these, is it?
It's not any of those, no. We know this works, it's not any of these.
In what year did John McCain first run for president?
What is the most popular boy's name in Spain?
It's to do with the Republican Party.
Is it the average number of dead bears per room in Sarah Palin's house?
It's very good. It is about Sarah Palin.
Is it how many times did John McCain meet Sarah Palin before he offered her the...
That's absolutely right. Well done, Hugh Dennis. Congratulations. Yes, the question I was looking for was on how many occasions had presidential candidate John McCain met Sarah Palin before choosing her as his running mate. The relatively unknown governor of Alaska was a surprise choice as the Republican's deputy in the US election where, despite her inexperience, she hopes to become the country's first female vice president.
She's definitely going to be president, isn't she?
Yeah, it's...
Because he's 72... He's
the
first president ever who could be assassinated by someone busting a paper bag.
Do you think, well, if he does get assassinated by the paper bag, that in years to come there'll be a film about it and you'll just see on a grassy knoll just various people...
Governor of Alaska is the all-time big drop-off in a title, isn't it? Governor, really important and great. Alaska. It's like you've been voted the most handsome man in the Burns unit.
Although...
You're an international footballer for Scotland.
Governor of Alaska is the equivalent, isn't it, of being mayor of the Shetland Isles.
It is, yeah.
She's a complete redneck, isn't she?
Yeah.
It would be like Gordon Brown picking as his deputy prime minister the lead singer of the Wurzels.
That'd be a bloody good idea.
But does the lead singer of the Wurzels have a bear skin with bear head stuffed in her office?
She's a really mixed-up lady, though, because one of the reasons that she's been appointed is that she is pro-life, but obviously not for bears.
But she's a creationist, so she believes that God made the world in 7 days, and yet she's also a keen hunter. She seems odd like, cheers, God, thanks for all the animals.
Basically, isn't she? She's the female version of Rambo. So you're wondering whether John McCain is thinking of going back into Vietnam.
There's an irony here, isn't there, that John McCain spends 5 years in a Vietnamese prison and he's running for president, whereas Gary Glitter, on the other hand...
Do you not think...
You think that over time we will be going to respect Gary Glitter?
Did you see the press conference where he introduced her? It couldn't have been more awkward and horrible. It looked like Joseph Fritzl and his daughter doing an infomercial for a basement conversion company.
How has she been tested this week?
Her daughter's pregnant, and she said that she is... I think she's like 17 or something, and she said, oh, yeah, but it's OK, because she's going to marry the father, as if that doesn't just make it worse.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, imagine if we were all married to the people we'd gone out with when we were 17. Like, how shit would your life be?
But she's got...
Somewhere, by the way, in the country, there is a couple there of childhood
Obviously, that's
sweethearts
dreamy. I mean,
who
my
are sitting
mum and
beside
dad,
each other
yeah.
going, I've been with you for 15 years now. Oh, Lauren is right. I could be with Lauren Laverne now.
The thing about being a creationist, right, is that actually being a creationist is the logical position, isn't it? If you're going to believe in a crazy, made-up religion, you might as well just go the whole hog and get right into it, right? Richard Dawkins, right, he's a very nice guy, but he doesn't understand the suspension of disbelief that's part of religion. You wouldn't want Richard Dawkins reading the Narnia books to your children, would you? Peter, who doesn't exist, and Lucy, who doesn't exist. Edmund and Susan, who don't exist, all went through a magic doorway that didn't exist and met a lion. They exist, but they don't talk, and they're not a metaphor for Jesus, who definitely didn't exist.
I would like to see a chain of events that would lead to Richard Dawkins reading Narnia books to my children. Who's in there with the kids? It's Richard Dawkins. I thought you asked him over. How does the Republican convention, by the way, how's it comparing to the Democratic convention?
It's a lot quieter.
It is a lot quieter.
Because they've scaled it all down because of the hurricane.
Yes.
There's been a hurricane, it's come, it's called Gustav.
Yes, there has, yeah.
And he just missed, they all got everybody out. The mayor, did anybody see the mayor?
Brilliant speech by the mayor, yeah.
He came out and he just really wanted to make sure that nobody stayed. So he said, this is the mother of all storms. Get your butts out of here. And next to him was a woman doing sign. And he went, get your butts out of here. And she went... she whacked her butt.
Oh, really?
Butt out. He did it. He went butt out, and she went butt out. I didn't even know if she actually did signs. She was just improvising. Just
I love the fact Michael. You may have just been on some weird lap dancing channel and you misunderstood it.
They name hurricanes alphabetically, don't they?
They do,
So they
yeah,
go through.
yeah.
So the next one could be Hurricane Higgins. Which I'm Hurricane
What he should have done, McCain, right, instead of cancelling a day of the convention because of the hurricane, he should have timed his speech to take part at the peak of the hurricane. He should have dressed as Magneto from the X-Men, risen up into the air and go, look at my power, America!
I think it's only in extreme winds that winds should be mentioned, like hurricanes and gales and stuff. Well, I just find it really annoying on the weather forecast when they go, there's going to be a stiff northeasterly breeze. I'm not sailing to work. I don't give a shit. Is that going to change my route to work? It's like, if I walk that way with the tailwind, I'll be there in half the time. It makes no difference.
On an apocalyptic note, why do some people fear that the end of the world is going to happen next Wednesday?
Because it might well do. Because they've created a giant black hole machine in Switzerland. A machine that could create a black hole that will end the universe.
Well, that is the greatest bit of timing I've ever seen in my life.
The Large Hadron Collider in CERN in Switzerland starts on Wednesday.
Or to give it its proper name, the black hole machine.
They've taken all necessary precautions.
No, they haven't.
They haven't taken the necessary precaution of not doing it, though, have they?
There's a 1 in 50 million chance that it could create a black hole which will end the universe. Now, I would argue that if there's any chance of that, like if my kid said to me, can I get a train set up in the loft? I would go, OK. If said, could I get a train set that might end the universe? I'd say, what about a bike?
So you'd prefer it if they got the protons and then cycled them round the tunnel on a bicycle?
The thing is, I'm sure they're going to find out some interesting things about protons, but I would add, I don't give a fuck.
I think if the...
I think they've taken all the necessary safety precautions,
It's
right?
it might create a tiny black hole, right, which is the worst type of black hole, because we'll all get drawn slowly towards Switzerland. And every week this desk will be like 2 feet further over there. And then eventually we'll just look one week and Russell have been replaced by just the jaws of infinity.
What was that directed at me, Frank? The jaws of infinity. I thought we were going to see a cow and chocolate and we'd be in Switzerland, but all of a sudden my eyeballs are sucked out of my face. It's just sitting nearest to the audience.
You thought
Why
that...
am I the first to go?
You're nearest to Switzerland. We tilted it around during the show so that you be the one closest to Switzerland.
Well, this is bullshit now.
No one's going to die. It's basically...
He just told me I'm going to die on telly.
My God, I hope you have the cameras rolling when it happens. That Higgs, right? Just him going, "Wah!" and clinging on to the desk, right? While we hammer at his fingers. Go! Go proudly! No. Go, Russell! Go, Brett!
You'd be like that, there's more space on scenes we'd like to see.
That's not going to work, though, is it? Because what they're looking for is a thing called the Higgs boson.
Yes.
Is that right? Which is a subatomic particle, which is, lasts for a million trillionth of a second. It's incredibly small. Most of the scientists I've ever met would have trouble finding a clitoris. They're not going to find that.
Well, OK, they don't find the Higgs boson by just rooting around and checking on their desks. I'm sure there's a Higgs boson.
Are you saying that's your method for finding the clitoris? Well, I'll root around, and if it's not there, I'll check the desk.
With that, we offer the points to Frankie, Hugh and Michael! Now we play a round called Danger, Danger, Subatomic Joke Collider. This game involves Michael, Andy, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winner of the team I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is television. Who wants to come in on that? Frankie!
It's so patronising, television, isn't it? I saw a show the other day, and it was like how to sell your house kind of thing. And it said, if someone's coming round to view the house, remember to open your curtains and tidy up. Oh, thanks for that. I'd been planning on redecorating using diarrhoea pills and stencils, then shaving the word welcome into my dog's back. I saw a show for the first time the other day, You Are What You Eat, where a woman gets a trestle table of food in front of a fat person, and they have to pretend to feel guilty as she shows them their dream buffet. Oh, this is terrible. Could you give me 5 minutes on my own here? You've got to be careful what you say on telly. I did a cookery show, and it was 10 in the morning, and it was live, and it was the day of the Glasgow airport attack. And the presenter said, oh, you do topical stuff, don't you? And I said, yeah, like today. We don't know if that was terrorists or just Richard Hammond turning up late for checking. You don't want to have to whisk eggs for 20 minutes while a studio full of people hate you. See, political correctness is all over television. Apparently, on television, we're now not allowed to say fairy lights because it might be homophobic. Apparently now we've got to call them poof lanterns.
Thank you, Frankie. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is modern living. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Now, apparently at the next election, we're all going to be able to vote by text. Now, I can see that going tits up, particularly with predictive text. People voting for New Labrador, the Conservatory and the literal demagogues. And I've got to be honest, I am no fan of mobile phones, particularly because you can no longer, can you, call a wrong number. Call a wrong number, don't you? Half an hour later, you get a call back. I believe you just called me. I got a wrong number. No, Sonny Jim, what was it you wanted to say? Well, at that point, I like to go, brilliant. I get to make a dirty phone call, but they've had to bloody pay for it.
That leaves us with Michael and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. Next topic is drugs. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
Good laugh, mate. I get offered drugs loads. I was at Glastonbury this year, right? And this bloke came up to me. He's like, oh, mate, do you want some shrooms? And you're quite tempted, because everyone's like, it was amazing, man. Had a chat with the tree. Good guy. He was called Nathan. You'd love him. We could play racquetball Thursday week. What a chap. But you know, if you took mushrooms, you'd be the one who would have the story that would end up on the front page of the papers. Do you know what I mean? I killed a lollipop lady. She wouldn't let me lick it and I killed her. So in the end, right, it was really embarrassing. I had 3 packs of Starburst just shoving in front of my tummy, like, nom, 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 nom. I was like, my guts totally gave way, and this lovely old lady came up to me and was like, are you all right? Now, you've never known being truly pathetic until you've looked into the eyes of a kind stranger and gone, I've eaten too many sweets. There we go.
There's John Russell. OK, Michael, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. The topic is grooming. Michael?
Right. People like my hair, though. I do gigs, and people come up to me after the show and they go, I loved it. I go, what part? And they go, your hair. It moves around when you tell jokes. And people find it funnier than me. And I'm worried I'm going to wake up bald with a note. I've gone solo. I obviously don't need you. I'm touring. I never understand the end of a haircut. The mirror bit. There's this strange... Men don't want this bit, OK? There will be a back of the head mirror. It's a mirror specially designed for the back of the head. They will fetch the mirror. Man is already thinking, I don't want this, I don't want this. And then they present to you the back of your head. It's a surreal moment in life. It's you looking at the back of your head for the only time in life you see the back of your head. And I think in the history of hairdressing, no man has reacted at this moment in any other way other than... yeah. I don't even know it's my head. For all I know, it's just a photo of his best ever haircut. I don't care. It's of no interest to me. Do people go, I love it, I'm leaving backwards. Woohoo! Thank you!
Points there go to Frankie and Michael. Our next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Alistair Darling. But what does DIRB stand for?
Is it Darling is really Badger?
Is it darling indicates remaining buddy? That guy there. Oh no, he's just gone.
It's Darling initiates rap battle. He's actually just said, your mama's so fat she got her own postcode.
I know the answer to this, actually. Alistair Darling has written an incredibly dull sequel to the Narnia books, which are called Doorway into Reading Business Park. Some children go through a doorway into Reading Business Park and they get a loan from the Prince's Trust. That's pretty much it.
Is it Darling's eyebrows really black?
Eyebrows, but...
Yeah. Can't we add a little bit of artistic integrity?
Not to spelling, you can't.
Eyebrows. If you were texting it, people would know what you meant.
Why would there a headline be written in text speak? What newspaper? How busy are you? How busy journalists are?
Why would a headline involve the word badger? We're all having fun.
Is it disco inventor resurrects boogie?
This headline is actually Darling's Inuit robot butler. He has an Eskimo robot butler. What should we do today, Tiktari37? Ice fishing. No, not ice fishing, ice fishing. Every day with the ice fish. Ice fishing. I don't know that you're a robot. I think you're just a suit of armour with a tape recorder in you. Ice fishing.
Dara's eyebrows really...
Stop putting eyebrows with an eye!
Is it Darling in recession blunder?
That's absolutely the right answer. Well done. Here. The answer I was looking for was Darling in recession blunder. In a weekend Guardian interview, the Chancellor said the UK is facing its worst economic crisis in 60 years.
It's very difficult to listen to anything he says because all you're doing is looking at his eyebrows. Do you know what I mean? It's so difficult. You go, really? Imagine if he was giving you directions. You'd be like, yeah, right, eyebrows, eyebrows.
I can't work out whether he actually dyes his eyebrows or whether they're just immune to stress.
The thing is, Alistair Darling has sort of said, well, the economy's ruined.
Yeah.
And he's talked down the pound and the pound's gone down and stuff. And he said, well, I'm just telling the truth. The thing is, you're not supposed to say that, though. You're the Chancellor of the Exchequer, you crazy puppet-faced bastard. You're supposed to lie and keep confidence up.
Yeah.
He said they
He
were
should have been on telly,
off,
surely, with loads of, like, bags of shopping. Oh, I've just been out. Whoa, there's loads out there. You know, but instead, he pretty much stared at the camera, played Radiohead's No Surprises and just went like that.
He's supposed to create confidence in the economy.
Yes.
He might as well have gone on Andrew Marr, and when Andrew Marr said, well, what are the medium-term prospects for the economy, he might as well have gone, oh, well, I'll just show you, and got a harpoon out, stuck it in his mouth, and just blown his brain out onto the wall. I think that's a fairly accurate assessment.
You know, but when he said it, I think, because he's really wasted an opportunity. In the interview, at some point, he should just have gone, we're doomed. And left it at that.
But we're not panicking, are we? Do you know what I mean? He's
I'm
got
not
the
panicking.
worst thing for 60 years, you know, the worst fun, and we'll just go, no, fair enough. X Factor. Excellent.
To be fair, we are the least qualified people to talk about the credit crunch, a bunch of successful TV comedians. Like, watching us talk about the credit crunch is like the Loose Women Champions League special.
I'm sorry,
That is true. I mean, you don't know how much. I mean, the show actually only last week was bought up by a consortium of Abu Dhabi millionaires. We are doing it's good news for all of us, except you're moving to the One Show.
Yeah.
that's vicious.
I've got involved in the credit crunch. I've been watching this man who winds me up. I went onto his website and he guaranteed me that I could get a better deal on my mobile phone, and it's got step-by-step instructions on what to do. So I phoned up my provider. I'm in front of the computer, I'm reading it, and you have to go through to disconnections and say you're going to leave, and apparently they stop you and give you a better deal.
Yeah.
So I go through to disconnections and I go, I'm leaving, cancel my account. And they go, OK, we're sorry to hear that. And I'm like, OK, I wanted a better deal. And they're like, no, and they said to me, you've just cancelled your account. I was like, no, give me a better deal. It says here, you'll give me a better deal. I said, we can't offer you anything now, sir, because you've just asked us to cancel your account. It's irreversible. So I started offering them deals. So, like, I'll have less minutes, more money. Give me my phone back. And I lost my phone.
By not, he has saved you money. You haven't got a phone. You can't
Now
use
I've got
your
this
phone.
new phone, which is a disaster. It's a disaster, my new phone. It's a camera, but I don't know how to use the camera, so I keep taking photos of my ear when I'm trying to make photos. I've got a film of my face going, what? And then my ear going, what? What? I can't make phone calls. I've got 98 photos of my ear.
He's saving you money.
What gets me about the credit crunch, right, is how flimsy our principles are. Because everyone was buying organic food and going, oh, I want the chicken to have lived a life before I eat it.
Yes.
Now, the first sign of trouble, I don't care if that chicken, if the first light it ever sees is the little light in my oven. I don't want to eat any chicken that hasn't been brought up with 120,000 other chickens in a council flat in Middlesbrough.
It's also all these obscenely paid footballers, isn't it? You know, and they're all talking about, oh, I've just gone out and bought a 36 grand Frank Muller watch. For 36 grand, you would want some gadgets on your watch. For instance, I would want to be able to drive it. You know?
To be honest, if I don't know who this Frank Muller guy is, but for 36 grand, I'd like Frank to be around at all times. I'd like to be able to turn and go, oi, Frank, what's the time? And he goes, 2:10, Dara. Nice one, Frank.
I found that in Malta, you know the speaking clock when 1, 2, 3 at the time, sponsored by... In Malta, which is a very small country, my mother was living there. She phoned up the speaking clock. And somebody just goes, hello? And she was like, I think I've got the wrong number. He's like, what number you want? She's like, I was phoning for the clock. He went, yes, the right number. It's 2:13. It was some guy.
Fantastic.
She said that once it just rang and rang and rang and rang and rang, and then after a while he was like, sorry, I was in the shower, 3:32.
There's a thing, isn't there, in the credit crunch where apparently people are starting to cut their own hair.
Oh.
I've been doing it. I gave myself a Brazilian the other night. As a man, never get a Brazilian because when you get a hard-on, you look like a sundial at noon.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Michael. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I quote ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is lines you wouldn't hear in a sci-fi film.
We've discovered an alien queen, and she's laid enough eggs to take over the galaxy. This writing, it says, Katuna.
I am C-3PO. This is my cousin, WD-40.
All right, Chewie, you look different after that back sack and crack wax.
My name is Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is my brother, Oh Be Careful, my sister, Oh Behave, and my dog, Oh Be a Sport.
Use the Force, Luke. I've run out of lubricant.
Yeah, that's right. We aliens have learnt your language by listening to your radio broadcasts.
The androids are going berserk, Captain. Let's try switching them off and then on again.
Stardate 2171.6. Captain's log. Still won't flush. I'll try again later.
Vader, you look like a big black dildo.
Captain, I've been repeatedly firing this laser at that alien, but all I've managed to do is improve its eyesight and give it a Brazilian.
It's not easy being a Vulcan, Captain. Due to my death grip, I can't masturbate.
Had that hairball in there for years.
You're loving Chewie.
I need to break into the Death Star's computer system. Who knows Darth Maul's mother's maiden name?
Captain, the ethereal sounds being made by this beautiful dying creature from another world is some funky shit.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on the radio.
In that episode of the Hugh Dennis story, Hugh Dennis was played by Bruce Willis, Steve Punt was played by Hugh Dennis, and the band was Shawaddy Waddy.
You touch my turnips and I'll fuck you up.
And now for a travel update. There is an accident on the M1. It's a good one, so hurry up. There's flames and everything.
Next, a book at bedtime. Martin Jarvis reads the speeches of Hitler in a high-pitched girl's voice.
Good afternoon, this is Radio 4 and I have a regional accent.
Next on Radio 4, the dogging forecast.
Here on Traffic Watch, we're predicting long delays on the M4, where I'm about to hit my ex-wife's car with this helicopter.
And now it's the panel show where our panel try to stave off premature ejaculation. Yes, it's just a minute.
Good morning, this is Breakfast with Tony Blackburn. I'm not actually on the radio, I've broken into your kitchen. Do you want toast?
Next, more lesbian propaganda with Woman's Hour.
Well, you've certainly stumped the Gardener's Question Time panel. None of us know how to bring a fox to orgasm.
You're listening to Heart FM. The same 5 songs all day long.
"6 a.m, welcome to the breakfast show. Who's up at 6 a.m? My wife's leaving me. My dad didn't get up at 6 a.m, and he was a fucking minor.
OK, then that round the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Michael. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Michael McIntyre. Commiserations to Andy Parkin, Lauren Laverne and Russell Howard. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Eileen Klass and Vic Reeves guest on Buzzcocks at 10, but next here on BBC Two, a new coach and a financial crisis. The comedy continues in the Cup.
and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Ed Byrne and Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Stuart Francis. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Stuart, which category would you like?
Foreign news.
You're going to go for foreign news?
Yeah.
OK, your category is foreign news. The answer is 4%. What is the question?
The number of Americans who haven't been on a UFO?
What percentage of Charles Clarke is not bile, phlegm, lard or ears?
What is the spare memory capacity on Gary Glitter's laptop?
What percentage of the vote would Labour be delighted by at the next election?
Is it what are the chances of me enjoying a film that are described with the words "one woman's journey"?
Is it how much of me is penis? Rising to 4.2 on a warm day.
Is it what is the number 4 expressed as a percentage?
Actually, that would be 400%.
Well, don't get mathematical with me.
I'll tell you what,
You give me a mathematical thing.
that was like a maths rap battle. Don't get mathematical with me.
I'm going to get some equations on your ass. Don't derivate.
Is it how much of the weekend can Amir Khan remember?
Is it? How many people support the policy burn Britain's homeless to heat Britain's houses?
Is it how much does Guy Ritchie contribute to the family kitty?
Is it how many Americans think that Sarah Palin was in Monty Python?
Is it what proportion of votes would Robert Mugabe consider a landslide?
Is it John McCain's poll lead in America?
It is John McCain's poll lead in America. Well done, Frankie Boyle. Yes, the question I was looking for is how far is John McCain ahead of Barack Obama in some of the presidential polls? This is the news that Republican Vice President nominee Sarah Palin's popularity has given John McCain a 4% poll lead over Barack Obama. 40 million viewers watched her speech at the Republican convention, during which she described herself as a pit bull with lipstick.
Do you know, it strikes me, though, it's not going to work out the way they think. Because have you seen the way that John McCain looks at Sarah Palin? He is going to have a heart attack before the election. Don't you think? He wants to shoot her moose.
Do you reckon when they're on the tour bus and he's fallen asleep, that she just dresses up as Death, just waiting for him to wake up? Just kind of do a bit like that.
She did the right thing because she made an analogy, but she kept it short. She said, I'm like a pit bull. That's the key with an analogy, is just keep it short, because no analogy bears up to examination. I'm like a pit bull, I'm tenacious, fine. I'm like a pit bull, when I get something I won't let go. If you want me to let go, you'll have to put your finger up my arse. No, you've gone too far, Palin! Don't leave me alone with a toddler, I'll kill it. No! Keep the analogy short.
They're saying, oh, you know, they talk about the thinking man's crumpet. She is the stupid man's donut. Basically, she actually doesn't even believe that climate change is man-made.
Yep.
Even George W. Bush now believes climate change is man-made. It's a sad state of affairs when you make George W. Bush look like an informed progressive.
To be honest,
The thing is, a 72-year-old man, right? He'd only met her once before. A 72-year-old man with his advisors talking to her for the second time. It must have been like a vaudeville act or something. Where are you from? Alaska. No, Alaska. Where are you from?
Did you guys know that McCain was a prisoner of war? Because he doesn't like to talk about it. He doesn't bring that. No, he always likes to talk about it. How sad is that? It's like me on the street. Hi, my name's Stuart. It's my birthday. Be my friend.
George Bush gave a speech this week where he praised John McCain for surviving in the Bangkok Hilton, which isn't surprising because Bush would struggle to survive in the London Hilton. He'd probably starve to death after 4 days in the wardrobe looking for the button for the ground floor.
Well, Well, no, well, that's a very apt point. He actually praised him for surviving the Hanoi Hilton. Bangkok is in a different country, and Bangkok wasn't involved in the Vietnam War.
Well, it's important that we get stuff right on a show where we've not said international affairs, we've said foreign news in case we confuse people.
Touche. Well, I think it's funny when she was slagging off Obama, when she, you know, and his environmental plans, and she says, "Yeah, what's he actually going to seek to accomplish after he's done turning back the water and healing the planet?" Like, what a shit thing to want to do. After you've done healing the planet, what next? World peace, asshole.
One of the oddest stories about her is that her son's called Track, and he was named Track because she's a fan of running. And, yeah, exactly, you know, thank God she doesn't like badminton. Imagine being called Shuttlecock. Imagine that.
Don't you think the glasses work in America? Obviously, you know, loads of people are trying to buy them and all the rest of it. But every time I see her, I think somewhere in here I'm expecting a little voice to go, should have gone to Specsavers.
But it really brings home how stupid the supporters are. Did you like the speech? I want to look like her. You know? So depressing.
Well, you sounded like Baloo from the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. I want to be like
I tell you what, normal off-stage voice. This is an act.
Looking forward to Motorway.
Look into my eyes.
There's a Sarah Palin action figure, isn't there?
There is a Sarah Palin
and
action figure.
she's only got selected a week ago, so there's no chance that they've...
Well, they've clearly taken...
That's clearly an action man that they've grafted a vagina onto. Which is something that I've been doing for years. I've patented that.
To be honest, it looks a little bit like Gok Wan.
She's a creationist, isn't she?
Yep.
Right. If you're a creationist, if you're going to shut out part of reality, don't shut out things like dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are cool. If you're going to shut out part of reality, shut out tax returns or periods. Pretend that doesn't happen, right? Don't shut out dinosaurs. They were huge. I don't know why I said it in that voice, but they were huge.
To be honest, if you saw a dinosaur right now, you'd probably go, ah, in a high-pitched voice.
Also, that's Frankie's voice when he's not doing what the week is.
You should see when we all meet up together. It's like, hello, Frankie. Hello, you.
She's also very like Vladimir Putin, I think. They're separated by only 2 letters of the alphabet, and they both like hunting. Don't they? I mean, they are very, very similar people. And you think, if in the event of a conflict between the US and Russia, you could sort it out by just forget war, forget missiles, just get the 2 of them hunting each other in the woods. And the winner takes all the spoils. They go, do you not recognise the rug? It is Sarah Palin. Look, the glasses.
She's got this giant, freakish family, Palin, hasn't she? It's sort of like an episode of The Waltons that was filmed in Austria. And she's got this guy who's got her daughter pregnant, right? And he's got on his MySpace page, redneck and proud of it. If you're a real redneck, you've not got a MySpace page. Redneck social networking is putting a couch on your front lawn.
In other news, why has the North Pole made headlines this week?
It's become an island.
Yes, it has become an island.
Well, I've heard it's been attacked by 2 massive, giant red arrows.
They've carved away at it. They've moved from the west.
But this is really worrying, because this wasn't supposed to happen until the year 2030. And now they're predicting that by the year 2030, the whole thing will fit neatly into a gin and tonic. And we're so short-sighted, people are saying, oh, it's OK, it's opened up trade routes. We can send shipping round there now. That's like your house burning down and you going, oh, well, better parking.
What about the poor Inuit with their igloos? As the global warming kicks in, wake up the next day and your house has completely disappeared and you're just sleeping in a puddle. Be a bit like going to a music festival.
Yeah. The Eskimos now have 600 words for we're fucked. Well, do you know that literally the only chance for human survival is if when this thing melts there's an enormous button underneath it that says press to restore the Earth's factory settings?
But everyone's looking at, you know, it's bad news, you know, for us, and the oceans are going to rise and all that. But it's very good news for fish, who up until now have been living in very cramped, overcrowded conditions. And all this extra water that's going into the ocean, for them, it's like having the loft converted.
What? Hang on a minute.
we've knocked Greenland through.
By the way,
Is
we
it- is
should
it-
obviously point
is it
out
a
the
myth?
oceans won't rise when this goes up, because that's like an ice cube in a glass of water.
Damn
and,
it.
And
And
that's
then
like only... It's Archimedes' principle. I'm sorry, now I've just killed the mood with some basic GCSE physics.
You're
sorry.
like Conan the joke killer with your knowledge. It's not the Bangkok Hilton. Oh, the Archimedes principle. This is the opposite of the role they hired you for, O'Brien or O'Brien or whatever
I
the
can't
fuck you're
fight
called.
it anymore. Get
All right,
with me.
Dara O'Brien. Are there any Irish people in? Have you heard the name O'Brien before either?
It's not some made-up showbiz name
You
that
and
I've
your
got.
dad are the only O'Briens I've ever heard of.
It's not some crazy name I've chosen.
Personally, I think Dara should change his surname to Raboomdier. Dara Raboomdier.
At the end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Stuart. Now we play a round called Illegally Drilling the Alaskan Joke Reserve. This game involves Stuart, Ed, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The wins the team I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, let's spin the wheel. First topic is pensioners. Who wants to come into that? Frankie boy.
We've just heard that Britain, for the first time, has more pensioners than teenagers. What a terrifying statistic for the country's paedophiles. No wonder Gary Glitter didn't want to come back. In 20 years' time, we'll have the first generation of pensioners who can text each other. I've got Alzheimer's, man. Yeah, you told me that like 20 times already, man. To balance the economy out, what we should do, we should give pensioners more money, but only if they take up really dangerous sports. Here you go, an extra £100 a week if you start quad biking through safari parks wearing a suit made from ham. It's not how old you are physically, is it? It's how old you are mentally. I mean, my granny is, what, 83? But she has the mind of a 2-year-old. Just a joke, she's dead.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is young people. Edbert.
Young people, they're very scary, aren't they? I remember being scared of young people when I was young. But when I'm grown up, I'll be bigger than them and I won't be scared of them anymore. And then they armed themselves, which I felt really unfair. I'm not scared of, like, goths or emos, which is kind of a shame, because goths make more of an effort to look scary. It's almost a shame they're not scary. They make more of an effort, and they give that look. Like that, does my vampiric countenance not chill you to your bones? You're like, no. I could send one hoodie in there, it'd be like a dog worrying sheep. Don't annoy me. Getting stepped to by an emo. You're an emo, for God's sake. I think between the two of us, we both know who you're most likely to harm.
Well done, Edbert. OK, that leaves us with Stuart and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is relationships. Who wants to come into that? Russell.
Britain, I have sexual advice for you. That's right. When I was 18, I used food in the bedroom. Now, don't ever do it. It didn't go well, right? Rather than... I used Rolo yogurt. And rather than tell... Yeah, exactly, right? Rather than tell my then-girlfriend what I had planned, I pretty much waited for her like some hideous yogurt goblin, right? Now, I doubt there's anything more terrifying than coming home to find me naked, holding yogurt, going, yeah, right? And I panicked, and rather than putting a little bit on, I pretty much basted her, right? By the time I'd finished, she looked a bit like Morph. You're sat there. I created an angry meal. You don't know where to start licking. You don't want to lick randomly, then she looks like she's got an illness. So, I did foot up to knee. That took me an hour. And hours, I was just... She looked like an angry gingerbread lady who'd had her leg dipped in Tippex, right? It didn't end there. I was like, I can't help you. The door opened, one of my dogs ran in and started licking the other leg. Never use food in the bedroom.
Thank you very much, Russell Howard. So that leaves us with Stuart. Let's have a look at the last topic then. And the topic is family. Stuart.
Before I rock the microphone, I want to I want to dedicate my performance to my father, who was a roofer. So, Dad, if you're up there. I'll tell you about my family. I'm the youngest of three. My parents are both older, and I have mixed-race parents. My father prefers the 100 meters, and my mother's Pakistani. I was raised by my father. My mother left before I was born, and you know... Not like being raised by my father. He's schizophrenic, but he's good people. I remember one summer I was 5 and he was Mussolini. Went to the park that day. I love parks. Standing in the park today wondering, why does a Frisbee appear larger the closer it gets? And then it hit me. My uncle's a hypnotist who has never inappropriately touched me. I have to leave now. I'm a member of Overactors Anonymous, and we have an Overactors Anonymous meeting that starts in...
In that round, the points go to Frankie and Stuart. Our next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of British tennis star Andy Murray. But what does MGSW stand for?
Is it Murray's ginger sideburns woeful?
Is it Marvin Gaye sprayed white?
Is it miserable git shuns winning?
Is it...
Thank you. Hang on. Thank you.
Is it with what happened in the women's final and the men's final? Is it Murray gives, Serena won?
Just looking at the photo, is it Murray gives self wedgie?
Actually, is he praying for the one thing he needed to beat Federer, which is major gunshot wound?
Is it Murray Grand Slam? Whoa.
Very good. Well done, Hugh. That's great. The answer I was looking for was Murray's Grand Slam Woe. This is a valiant effort by Andy Murray in the final of the US Open, aiming to become the country's first male Grand Slam winner since 1936. He overcame world number 1 Rafael Nadal in the semi, but was defeated in straight sets by Roger Federer in the final. I say the countries. I mean, he was British if he won. He's back to being Scottish now.
Come on, Amir Khan is Scottish now. When Amir Khan went down for the second time, the commentator went, "Take that, you Scottish bastards!" Scotland got humped at the weekend by Macedonia. What, the ancient dead civilization? Who's beaten us midweek? The Aztecs?
There's so much hype about Murray. That's what I've picked up on. And in Canada, we had a similar player. A lot of hype and didn't pan out. He wasn't very good. I don't know whatever happened to Greg Ruzetsky, but...
Yeah. Did you see what Don King said about it? It was fantastic. I don't know if anyone saw it. It was amazing. He was just stood there going, "It's going to be a grapple in the apple. He's like 007 playing a Swiss watch. It's going to be the most extravagant thing you've ever seen." And then he panicked and went, "God save the Queen!" Right? And it was like, then you just go, "How much would you love to go out for a drink with Don King?" "I want a drink that'll slip in my tummy, make me feel funny, don't care about the money, viva la revolution." What drink do you want, you crazy old man? Give me a Ribena. You know? Speaking.
How depressed is Andy Murray? He's apparently not allowed to go too near the umpire's chair in case he hangs himself. How How did he learn in Scotland to play a sport that you can only practice when it's sunny outside? Can you imagine how good he would have been if he hadn't worked for his serve on 2 years in the kitchen?
I enjoyed his game with Rafa Nadal, though. The thing about Rafa, though, is he keeps on picking his arse, doesn't he? He's like he's got a massive wedgie after every point. He's a multi-millionaire. Rafa Nadal, buy some bigger pants.
In other sporting news, who is this man?
Looks a bit like Peter Kay.
He's a crazy billionaire who's bought Man City.
Yeah. He is, yeah.
Does no crazy billionaire build a secret base and kill James Bond anymore? What are you going to do, Bond? I am buying Frank Lampard legally. I think it's going to be great for Man City. I can't wait to hear their team sheet being read out at 5 a.m. from the top of a mosque. Ronaldinho is injured. Yes, he is injured!
All this money they're spending on Manchester City, the team just better not play like Shiite. I'm new in town.
Do you know, it's exciting because you could have all the best players in the world, and that means that you could have one absolute passenger. How good would it be to have a central midfield that was Kaka, Gerrard, Essien, Dame Judi Dench? In a diamond formation, obviously, you'd want to protect her a bit. But hey, John Terry's behind her, it's going to be fine.
You put her in the holding position in midfield.
She's going to miss the odd tackle, but it's going to be funny.
Surely you'd stick her down the wing. Sure, over 10 yards, Dench will beat anyone, right?
You're totally wrong. Dench is a fox in the box. I tell you what, you leave her alone 6 yards, bang. She's in many ways.
The first 3 yards are in her head. That's the amazing thing about it.
It's such a waste, though, isn't it? If you had 540 billion, you wouldn't buy a football team. You'd invent your own sport. Do you know what I mean? You've like a cross between Robot Wars and Gladiators with tramps set in space. That's what I'd do. You'd really go for
it. You do know they already have robot sports in the United Arab Emirates.
Really?
They have robots who ride the camels. They have camel racing, and instead of getting jockeys, which are presumably getting tinier and tinier, now they have robots who ride the camels.
Why don't they have jockeys on robot camels? That'd be a lot more interesting.
It's a great thing to these guys, man, right? In 2 years' time, Manchester City will be 3-0 up in the Champions League final, and this guy will just turn to his assistant and go, I am bored now, build me a robot spaniel.
You've got to love Man City. My favourite story about Man City, without doubt, is that they wanted to name one of their stands after a famous player called Colin Bell. So they genuinely wanted a stand called Bell End. You have... that is genius, isn't it?
Which unlikely figure is the government looking to enlist the services
Oh, no,
of?
is this Jeremy Kyle?
Yes.
The government want to pay Jeremy Kyle to do a programme where he baits people for being unemployed. What is that about the current Jeremy Kyle show where he isn't baiting people for being unemployed? I watch the Jeremy Kyle show and I go, where does he get these people from? And then I go, oh, that's right, Scotland.
He just gets a trawler, right, and a giant net, and he throws it over a Lidl in Glasgow and just draws it through. And people get dragged into the
He's
net.
got a variety of techniques. He's digging a pit outside cash converter. He's driving a van round the city centre with alco pops and chicken nuggets. Damn you, Kyle, you capture me!
They're like King Kong or something. Oh, they climb to the top of the ITV building.
Why do they go on? Is that the thing? You know what I mean? If your wife's going to go, we're going to go on Jeremy Kyle, don't. She's shagging your dad. It's not your baby and your mum's on crack. Stay at home.
Who watches that programme? It's like looking at a wound. Even Kerry Katona's sitting at home going, fuck's sake.
Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I quote ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first topic is unlikely small ads.
Did you see a hit and run in the Cromwell Road on Tuesday night? Please get in touch, because I'm keen to silence any witnesses.
Parents, worried about unruly teenagers ruining your house? You need my book, My House, My Rules, by Joseph Fritzl.
Please get in touch. Our eyes met yesterday. You were the blonde undressing in the bedroom. I was the man lurking in your garden.
Legs, bums and tums. Wanted by cannibal.
Slightly used condoms for sale. No weirdos.
Are you an alcoholic? There's a sale on at Oddbins.
House prices falling, debts rising, feel like you can't quite cope. Pull yourself together!
Gardening done. Think I'll put my feet up now.
Are you looking for a plumber who'll do a good job at a reasonable price? You've got no chance.
Anger management CDs for sale. Don't ring before noon.
Are you struggling to get out of the bath? It's pretty much game over for you then.
The next topic is unlikely things to hear on Question Time.
Allow me to answer your question with a question. Why don't you fuck off?
I'm going to take a question from a black man without mentioning that he's black. The man in the red jumper, please.
Do I believe the economy's in recession? Well, I believe it was Churchill who said, oh, yeah.
David Dimbleby, you haven't answered a question all night. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
A good question there. Is the BBC dumbing down? What do you think, Barry Chuckle?
Yes, my question is for Delilah. Why?
Welcome to Question Time, coming to you this week live from Spearmint Rhino.
Question time. Tonight we're in Norwich. Let's say hello to the audience. Look, men from Magic Picture Box. Go speaky, speaky.
Is the wrong answer, Charles Clark. Take off an item of clothing.
So, good question. Gordon Brown, why don't you shove your tax increases up your arse?
If your dog isn't here, Mr. Blunkett, who's sniffing my balls?
I have a question for Boris Johnson. Do you know where you are?
Is Britain becoming more misogynist? Let's ask this bitch.
At the end of that round, the points go to Russell, Ed and Andy. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Stuart Francis. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Ed Byrne and Russell Howard. Thank you for watching. I'm Darragh Breen. Good night.
Over-competitive parents are on the warpath again in the Cup next here on BBC Two. And the comedy continues at 10 with Never Mind the Buzzcocks.
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Darragh Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Jeannie Ashray and Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Adam Bloom. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board, 6 categories. Adam, which category would you like?
Financial news, please.
OK, financial news is the category. The answer is 158 years. What is the question?
How long was the 100 Years' War if you allow for tidying up?
Is it how long before the Fritzl family can look back and laugh?
What about in 2010? What is going to be the average age of the first-time buyer?
How long would it take me to lick my way out of a locked room?
How long will it take my mum to get back from Cyprus after she booked a flight with XL Air?
Is it how old would Keith Richards look if he moisturised?
How long does it take Leslie Ash to put on lipstick?
Is it how much bad luck do you get if you break 22.57 mirrors? Maths, boy.
Is it how long...
That's spot on.
Is it how old is the Earth according to Sarah Palin?
How long would it take me to get bored of reversing a car back and forwards across Jeremy Clarkson's twitching, disembodied cock?
Can we move towards the correct answer?
Is it how old the bank that collapsed, the Lehman Brothers bank?
That's absolutely right. Well done, Frankie. Thank you very much. The question I was looking for is how long had the US bank Lehman Brothers, or Lehman Brothers, but I don't know, who cares now, been trading before it went bust this week? This is the news that Lehman Brothers, America's 4th largest investment bank, has filed for bankruptcy protection since their assets have been bought by Barclays. Are we all feeling really sorry for the staff of...
For a minute there, I thought you said their asses have been bought by...
They may as well have been, to be honest. And ridden round Canary Wharf like a donkey. Come on, bitch. You're all super talky about how it's a dog-eat-dog world, weren't you, Mr. Trader Man?
I feel like, OK, I'm sorry for support staff who get let go and stuff like that, but bankers?
Yeah.
They're not even going to end up poor. They're going to end up having to sell an ivory figurine of Satan.
I'm looking forward to the new version of Deal or No Deal, where Noel Edmonds phones up the banker and there's nobody there.
Haven't we learned, though, Lehman Brothers, haven't we learned that brothers aren't very good at banking? Does nobody watch Trading Places? I think what's happened is the Lehman Brothers have had a bet that one of them can get a black guy to be president, right? They've taken their eye off the ball and they've let this happen. What we need to do is we need to get that crop report off Beaks.
The people who I think must be most pissed off about it, because essentially what we're seeing is the fall of capitalism, isn't it? AIG have gone, Lehman Brothers have gone, everybody's collapsing, Northern Rock has gone. People who must be most pissed off are Al-Qaeda, because they've been spending years doing all this terrorist shit. It turns out all they needed to do was take out some mortgages. On just take them out. Trailer parks, lots of trailer parks across the USA. They could even have lived in them.
Oh, this is much nicer. I've been spending all this time in a cave.
By the way, if you are watching and you're a member staff of AIG, you've not gone. That was just part of the... Like, certainly the other two you mentioned have gone, but when Hugh said a second ago, AIG have gone, they've not gone, all right? Chill out. Staff of AIG go, this is how I learn, this is how I find out that
people are watching on the Saturday repeat.
Oh, yeah, you're gone. You're gone by now, yeah. You're OK. You had a good Thursday and then Friday. Whoa, Friday was terrible.
If they're watching it on Dave, they're just stood outside the window of Dixon's as a tramp.
Imagine that. Imagine if these bankers become homeless. Imagine them selling the big issue. It'd be amazing. Buy!
What shows how materialistic they were is when they found out they were losing their jobs, they went and spent all the credits on their canteen cards, up to £100 on snacks. Yeah. So I love the idea that now there are outside sweet shops, there are men in pinstripe suits going, I will buy or sell wagon wheels.
Yeah.
They had canteen cards that they would charge up with like £100 at a time, and then they would go through it over time, right?
Yeah.
Which is a fine system, I suppose. But then there was a rush on the canteen, so they all bought and whoever was smart got the Trixes, and some people were left buying bananas, £100 worth of bananas. And you kind of go, you're so stupid to buy. Yeah, exactly. I think the people at home knew what a banana was, but we're dead. But just in case you did. But it does show a certain lack of financial knowledge if you bought something that goes off in 2 days.
But that's exactly what
I actually heard the other day somebody said, well, it's because of all these ninja loans, and I didn't know that it was no income, no job, and genuinely found myself thinking, why would a ninja need to borrow money? Just think... and then I thought it was the most depressing thing ever, just seeing a ninja in a queue, just waiting. Cashier number 1, please. And just seeing... And then, excuse me, can I have money for nunchucks? You know?
I can't wait for high street banks to go bust and those, beautiful buildings get replaced by, recession businesses, like pound shops. Walk-in safes full of See You Jimmy hats. Can I buy a plastic bucket and spade, please? Yes, if I can remember this 300-digit combination.
The most unfortunate person was a French bloke who turned up on Monday morning at Lehman Brothers to be turned away on his first day in the job. Now, the reason he hadn't turned up the week before was he'd actually booked a flight to come to London on XL Airways. And then, when that had gone tits up, he'd rebooked on Eurostar via the Channel Tunnel. Let's just hope his travel insurance wasn't with AIG.
Talking about butlers are getting laid off because of this. Something I'd love to see a butler going into the Dole office for the first time. How can I help you, sir? How can I help you, sir?
We alluded to which travel company went bust during the week.
Is it really? You know, it's the curse of the shirt sponsors, isn't it?
Well, I was hoping that West Ham were actually going to keep XL on their shirts, weren't they? Because they actually sewed a little bit of material really rubbishly over the top.
Yeah.
But when footballers score a goal, they often go like this, don't they? When they've scored a goal. I was hoping the West Ham team, when they scored a goal, they just stood very still with their arms out. Maybe doing a little bit of taxiing, and that would be it.
I thought it was a bit ironic, to be honest, that that West Ham covered over their XL logo because XL was failing and didn't cover over the West Ham logo. Me joshing, only joking, West Ham fans.
I'm not surprised that XL went down. I mean, they were cheap as hell. My brother, wife, and 2 kids all went on holiday to the Caribbean on XL for 500 quid. No wonder they went down. I wish I'd booked a flight with them a few years ago.
Was that business class?
That was business class.
I've got a little tip. If you want to fly business class, right, all you've got to do is put on a really nice suit and get a job.
There's a lot of footage of people in Cyprus coming from a resort, right? And they were going, we got to the airport and we didn't know anything about it. And you're like, that's because you're the sort of person who goes on holiday to a Brits-only resort in Cyprus. You don't know anything about anything. You wouldn't know that you had your stomach pumped on Saturday night if your mates hadn't put it on YouTube. What are they moaning about? Oh, my God, I'm trapped here on holiday in the sunshine with these water slides. Damn you, universe!
OK, what have football fans in Newcastle been protesting about this week?
Oh, isn't it the fact they've got this owner, Mike Ashley, that they want to get rid of? And they're saying, well, he's a Cockney, he's not really got proper links with the city. And they want to see him replaced by a guy called Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum.
Mike Ashley, he's made his money, hasn't he, by selling very cheap sports clothes.
Yeah.
And the protests at the weekend by the Newcastle fans featured a lot of people wearing cheap sports clothes. They shouldn't be kicking him out, right? They should be worshipping him as a god.
He's got 500 million quid and he spends time in Newcastle? If I had 500 million quid, I'd be living on a self-cleaning sex yacht.
I just say that would be a phenomenal episode of Wish You Were Here.
Only they brought back Judith Chalmers for that one. Judith, how did you find your night on the yacht?
I want to know
was spat out by the sluicing gates. I thought it was intriguing. Do you know what the Newcastle's fan spokesman said about all this? He said, Keegan Lake. And it turned out that he was having a stroke and no one had noticed.
The end of that round, the points go to Russell, Jean and Andy. Now we play a round called No Wheel of News is Good News. This game involves Adam, Andy, Frankie and Russell, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winner is the team I judge who produce the funniest stuff. Of course it isn't. I just picked them at random. Stop emailing in. OK. OK, let's go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is US politics. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Now, apparently, a lot of people won't vote for Barack Obama, right, because they think he's a Muslim, and a lot of Americans won't vote for him because they're old and they're white, which obviously just goes to prove that a lot of Americans are either stupid or racist, which in some ways is quite comforting because it's what we'd always expected. We just didn't want to appear stupid or racist. How come there's all this assassination talk now when we've had George W. Bush for 8 years? Where were they when we needed them? 8 out of 43 US presidents, right, have been killed in office. But the closest we've got to in the last 8 years is a pretzel working on their own.
Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is parenting. Who wants to come in on that? Adam Blue.
Little tip for everyone here with young kids. One photo is all we need to see. One of my best friends had a baby a few years ago, beautiful little boy, Luke. I only have to walk in his front door, I get bombarded with photographs. The worst thing is Luke is standing there. I can see him from most angles already. 36 brand new identical photographs. They're not identical, but they're so similar that if you made a flip book out of them, it would look like this. Got one in the wrong order. Cheers, thank you very much.
Well done, Adam Blue. OK, we're left with Frankie and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. The next topic is food. Who wants to come in? Frankie.
I am full of opinions about food. Seen the government said they want to bring in compulsory dance classes for fat children. They're not going to have the concentration for that, are they? Everybody do the mashed potato. Oh, mashed potato. Children are fat because we lie to them about vegetables, but we don't go far enough. Oh, eat your spinach, it'll make you strong. These will help you see in the dark. You've left your sprouts behind. You won't be shitting laser beams tomorrow. Don't you want to project the bat signal out of your willy? Don't know where that bit came from. I'd love to project the bat signal out of my willy. I suppose Batman would be quite annoyed when he turned up. What seems to be the trouble? I've had too many sprouts, Batman! Can't turn it off! I was given a recipe book for roadkill. Yeah, I went and got some roadkill and I followed the recipe and it was delicious. I still don't know what to do with his bike.
Thank you very much, Frankie Boyle. OK, Russell, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. OK, it's human behaviour.
Apparently 1 in 20 people have got OCD, if you knew that. I used to live with a bloke who had OCD, it was fantastic. I used to put Rice Krispies in his slippers before I went out, right? He went absolutely crazy. But not before he counted them all, it was fantastic, right? Just see, snap, crackle, pop, do me special dance, do me special dance. I was in a newsagent just the other day and I heard one girl say to another, you can tell whether a bloke's really good in bed if he's intelligent and he's got a funny accent. So I felt compelled to wander over and go, excuse me. Do you know where the library be? They looked at me like I was crazy, you know, but we all act crazy from time to time. My dad's brilliant for this, right? We buried my dog the other day. It was dead. We didn't do it for a laugh. But we were having a funeral for the dog, and my mum went, who wants to say goodbye to Bonnie? And my dad, in the middle of this tender ceremony, just went, oh!
Well done, Roscoe! And in that round, the points go to Frankie and Adam. Our next round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of the Prime Minister relaxing. But what does BFLC stand for?
Brainless, friendless, luckless, clueless.
Is he saying, bring fruit, liquor, cyanide?
Is it bonus fellow loses constitution?
Is it bloody fussin' lussin' credit crunch?
Is he worrying about where he's going to get his next job? Brown Fears Lidl counter?
On a similar note, is it burger, fries, large Coke?
Bollocks, the fool's lost control.
Is it Boyle Fears Large Collider?
I do certainly fear the Large Collider.
You look genuinely terrified, like he was going to pull out.
I'm terrified of the Large Collider. In fact, every time I'm reminded of it, I'm terrified. They don't even need to build it. If they want to see something that travels at 1,000,000 miles an hour, they should come right to my house and look at the fucking gas meter.
I think it's better find large canoe.
I know what it is. It's Brown Fear's Leadership Challenge.
Or Faces Leadership Challenge.
Brown Faces Leadership Crisis.
That's the one, Ali Barter. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Brown faces leadership crisis. This is a story that Gordon Brown is facing increased pressure after a growing number of Labour MPs spoke out against him.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Gordon Brown is sort of like an old dog, isn't he? They're talking about getting rid of him, but they don't do it in front of him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if I switched on the news tomorrow and they went, Gordon Brown has gone to live on a farm. It's a happy farm, but we can't visit him for some reason.
But it was a really funny story because the guy who resigned, who sparked this off, was a bloke called Barry Gardiner, who is the special envoy for forestry. You're like, what? What kind of... It sounds like something out of Lord of the Rings. The economy's in trouble. Send word to the forest elves. And seek counsel with the eagles. It's just... It's clearly a made-up job, isn't it? Special envoy for... Yeah, you are, back in the bus. It has that kind of...
Honestly, if they're looking for someone who's got a higher popularity rating, Robert Mugabe's not doing much at the moment.
Come on, is Gordon Brown that bad? I mean, he hasn't really been given a chance to really mess up. He's been waiting for that job forever. I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a bus driver, and because I thought it was cool. Don't judge me. But the thing is, if somebody told me that I was crap at bus driving, I would have sat in that bus and carried on driving it until they turned around and realised how good I was. And then if I turned out that I was actually shit at bus driving, I'd have driven that bus into a pole. But the fact is, what I'm saying is that you should hold on. You should stay in there.
So when things go badly, drive yourself into a pole.
Yeah. Exactly.
A little bit racist. Those people have got every right to be in this country as well.
People aren't happy, though, are they, with Gordon Brown? Because they've got less money. You know, those people, essentially everybody's having to downgrade their supermarket, aren't they? Those people who used to shop in Waitrose, they're now shopping in Asda. Those people who used to shop in Asda, they're now shopping in Aldi. And those people who used to shop in Aldi are now rooting around in bins.
And the people who shopped in Aldi always rooted around in bins. Aldi was just getting the extras. You always did your main shop in the bins.
You can still get shopping in Iceland for under a fiver, and that's probably because Iceland froze their food before the credit crunch started.
The talking about bringing in a two-piece sausage, aren't they? And people say that's going to be bollocks, but I think it'll have brains in it as well.
I'm one of the few people who's going to be better off because of Gordon Brown, because I bet someone £10 I'd only say one thing in this round.
I'll give you the tenner now if you want. Meanwhile, what have the Liberal Democrats been up to?
Who cares?
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
The voice of a nation cries out. Who cares?
Who does properly go? Because basically what they brought out is tax cuts. That was the general kind of idea. They should just go mad, you know. They're not going to get elected. Just go for wacky things like Kaplunk in every town centre, you know. A robot butler for every one of us. Wouldn't that be great? Bubble wrap as currency. That'd be fantastic.
They should make more of the leader's speech. They should have... Right, because they could just do anything. It's not going to make their support go up or down.
Exactly.
I'd like to see Nick Clegg coming out there naked on a dog lead that's been held by a big gay guy dressed as a minotaur. He shuffles up to the podium on his knees and goes, "Who is the beast and who is the man?" It wouldn't make the slightest difference.
Hang on. There was a quote. Just so you know the level to which even they know that this isn't going to make any difference. They took a poll. 37% of party supporters agreed that it doesn't make any difference what policies the Lib Dems put forward because they have no realistic chance of ever putting them into practice. This is from supporters of the Lib Dems. And you kind of, why not then just go a ladder to the moon? Let us invest all of our money.
Every childless couple in Britain, a clockwork boy called Little Jimmy Rattles.
What is the point of supporting a party that you don't think is ever going to get into power? What do we want? Doesn't matter. When do we want it? We're never going to get it.
Liberal Democrats, Nick Clegg is an example of what happens if you decide you're not going to have people who shag rent boys or are alcoholics.
Yeah.
Thank God the BBC don't do that, or it'd only be Russell on the show.
And then they had Vince Cable. Vince Cable, what a brilliant... He has the ultimate porn star name. He's called Vince Cable. And they still wouldn't elect him.
But no, Vince Cable said about Nick Clegg, didn't he? He said, "Oh, well, Nick Clegg, he's actually really good in private." Now, that isn't much. I bet Emil Heskey scores a lot of goals in his back garden and Guy Ritchie makes a really mean home video.
How depressing would that be if Emil Heskey actually plays football in his back garden?
I suspect he's not practising at all.
Well, how tragic would it be if Emil Heskey played football in the back garden and just held the ball up? Just him on his own, just holding the ball up, waiting for support to come.
As his next-door neighbour boos.
OK, the points there go to Frankie, Hugh and Adam. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I caught ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear in a travel documentary.
This man lives under a sheet of tarpaulin and has to walk for 3 hours every morning just to get a drink of muddy water. Nonetheless, he is happy to be Mayor of Dundee.
This week, I shall be travelling to the Middle East, to Africa, to Asia. But if I still can't find my luggage, I'll return to Terminal 5.
It's amazing to think that I'm the first white face these people have ever seen. And the last.
The squawk of parrots, parakeets and toucans has kept me awake all bloody night.
I'm surviving here on nuts and berries. That's the trouble with a documentary funded by Channel 5.
On our third day of filming, an incredible discovery. Hippos are just men in costumes.
So, I, Sir Jimmy, am in the Gobi Desert looking for water. Unfortunately, I have found this waddy.
Come on, we're not Rod Gilbert.
This week we're looking at holidays in Gatwick, because apparently you need a passport to go to Honolulu.
Prostitution is rife on the streets of Bangkok, so it really pays to shop around for a bargain.
Don't make the mistake I made. Nudists aren't welcome on every beach. Or at the local schools.
I'm outside the Taj Mahal. In my opinion, the most beautiful, the most striking, the most awe-inspiring curry house on the Edgware Road.
Can you see the lions and the tigers and the crocodiles? Yes? Good. I cannot, because I am here in Peckham.
After an arduous 3-day bus journey, we finally reached the place Ryanair said we were flying to.
The next topic is unlikely lines from a TV detective show.
I cut myself on a glass in your bar. I'd throw that away if I were you. Because I'm Kachalski, the HIV-positive detective.
It was simple. I just Googled who'd done it.
Fingerprints? I like his music, but that's a bit much.
Miss Marple, we've got no evidence, no forensic stuff, nothing. We don't know what's going on. Don't worry, just pin it on the black guy.
So, all the suspects are linked. Thomas knows Mallinson, Mallinson knows the victim, and they all live in the flat. But what do I know? I'm only the window cleaner.
So what can we tell from these bite marks on the breasts? We can tell that I shouldn't be left alone with a body.
To be honest, Watson, I couldn't care. I'm coked off my tits.
If you think it is murder on the Orient Express, you should try the shuttle between Glasgow and Edinburgh on Saturday night.
Where has Inspector Frost gone? I saw him only a moment ago, leaning on the hatch of that wine bar counter over there.
Sure, so there's shit going down in the high-rise. That's what you get with crack and blow. But I ain't going to answer no more of your questions, Miss Marple.
Michael Jackson, we've been questioning you for days. And this is your defence? You blame it on the boogie?
Well, he's got the profile of a killer, see?
The end of that round, the points go to Frankie, Hugh and Adam. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Adam Bloom. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Jeannie Ashray and Russell Howard. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Bill Bailey and Phil Jupiter are along with Simon Amstel in Nevermind the Buzzcocks at 10 on BBC Two, after the moment when Janice figures out what Terry's been up to and hits the roof in the cup. That's coming up next.
Read all about it.
and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. We've tackled all the big stories over the summer, the Olympics, the credit crunch, and Carol Vorderman leaving Countdown. But as a special bonus, here are some of the rounds we didn't have time to fit into the original programmes, along with some of our favourite moments. Hope you enjoy it. We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of the spectacular opening to the Olympic Games. But what does BGMC stand for?
Is it British Gas Managers Celebrate?
Is it British Games Much Crapper?
Is it Bottled Gas Meets Cigarette?
I know this one, actually. It's Barry George, Merry Christmas.
Is it Badger's Grenade Mouse Compound?
That's a very large mouse compound, isn't it? I didn't know the mice were capable of that, and it's all gone to nothing because of the badger's attack.
I didn't know the badgers were capable of that. That's appalling. They grenaded it, for God's sake.
The thing is, Dara, you anger a badger, it will do anything. I saw a pensioner punch a badger in the face. Within seconds, no skin.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, the badger going and sourcing grenades is the bit I find particularly
I'll be honest with you, it was a joke. I'm now being held accountable for some...
Let me get this straight. You anger a badger to make it do anything? Because for years I've been playing them Barry White. And...
We once had a badger run over outside the house.
You had him run over?
No.
There was a badger. What kind of butler have you got?
A badger
Have him run over for me. No. We shall sit in a throne and watch this.
You're like the godfather of the vermin world.
A badger was run over outside the house, and my parents were staying, and this badger obviously had to be killed, put down, to put it out of its pain. And all my father could find was a big stick. So he went outside and he had to hit the badger repeatedly with this big stick. And this is remembered by my son, because it was explained to him like this, as the time Grandad made the badger better with the stick.
Are you sure that's actually what happened?
At the point the badger has been run over, and then this old guy comes up and tries to finish it off with a stick.
It freaks my dad out, actually, thinking about it. It's horrible.
Your dad gets badger flashbacks.
Just big black and white and white and black and black and white and then red. Black, white, red all over.
Turn off Wind in the Willows. Turn off Wind in the Willows.
Are you sure it's not barbecue's gone massively cockeyed?
Surely. Yes, it was in a Chinese paper. It's actually...
And I just think that's fine now, is it?
Yeah.
Just to sort of say Chinese sounds a bit weird. Now China's got an economy, the racism's all allowed again.
Is it properly Beijing Games most costly, I would have thought?
Yes, it is. Very good. Well done, Hugh. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Beijing Games most costly. This is the news that the Beijing Olympics costs are expected to exceed £20 billion, making the most expensive in history. The opening ceremony is watched by 91,000 spectators and dozens of world leaders in the Olympic Stadium.
Is there really a purpose to having an Olympic opening ceremony? It's not like I would have switched on the telly today and seen people jumping into sandpits and going, what the hell's this? Hollyoaks has changed. I didn't even like the opening ceremony, man.
How can you not have liked the opening ceremony?
People in tracksuits and explosions. I had a flashback to living in Glasgow.
Whenever we're giving ourselves a target of 42 medals, why don't we just say, oh, we're hoping to get one medal and not have the pressure on ourselves? If we get any more, it'll be a bit of a bonus.
I think that has something to do with the fact that we've spent 235 million quid and the feeling that that's a lot of money for, say, one bronze medal. Actually, bronze wholesale is relatively cheap. You can get more than one medal's worth for 235 million quid.
What's great about watching the Olympics is how quickly you become an expert in something that you know nothing about. Right? I genuinely found myself shouting at the shooting, just hit the targets in the early rounds. You can't win it in the qualifiers, but you can lose it. What did I mean by that?
It's like the beam. The beam's the one when you see the freaky little girls just doing all that kind of spinny stuff. When one of them falls off, you're like, oh, what are you doing? Just go easy. And then but you know, if I had those abilities, so they've got to flip, I would not be able to do it. I've been like Asda, just triple spinning like that, just to freak people out.
So you don't ask the question, how can they do that, but how can they stop?
Absolutely. Yeah. Think about that. If you could flip 5 times, you would do that down the aisle of a supermarket, would you not?
I can and don't.
The answer is 1,000,000%. What is the question?
Is it, what is the blood alcohol content of Amy Winehouse?
Is it, after a recent power surge, what did Stephen Hawking say over and over again for 3 days?
How much does Max Mosley's blood pressure go up when he smells leather?
Is it what increase in population will Kerry Katona be responsible for by the time her womb finally succumbs to the ravages of time and chicken drumsticks?
How much did exaggerations go up last year?
Is the real answer, what is the rate of inflation in Zimbabwe?
Yes, it is, actually, yes. Very good, Lucy Porter, yeah. Yes, Lucy, the question I was looking for is, what is the estimated current inflation rate in Zimbabwe? This is the escalating economic disaster under Robert Mugabe's regime, with prices doubling every hour. Many Zimbabweans are now unable to afford even the most basic supply.
You wouldn't spend too long browsing in a Zimbabwean shop, would you?
Do you know that they did a survey this week said that Zimbabwean people are the least contented people in the world? There's just no pleasing some people.
They've had an election, they've got loads of money. What do you want, for God's sake?
They've had an election that was so corrupt that second place actually went to Ant and Dec. To be fair, though, I mean, people give him a hard time, but he actually, you know, he ran a good campaign. He had a good slogan, vote for me and I won't kill you. And he was very good on Zimbabwean question time. That's a good question. Have him taken away and killed.
I do genuinely, like Frankie says, as you know, in the international community are just sort of making these symbolic gestures. Say the EU say they won't recognise the legitimacy of his government, but that is irrelevant. He continues. It's a nonsense. There's no reality in that gesture. It's like taking away Joseph Fritzl's Dad of the Year mug. It's really, it's completely meaningless. And then our big solution to this, as a government, as a nation, as a force, Gordon Brown meets with Cobra to decide, it's the big one, we're going to remove cricket, we won't play you at cricket. Like that, like this is going to, you know, tame criminals, like you're going to have people being sent down for murder and rape. 2 years, no cricket, suspended, no Scrabble. It's a complete nonsense. No French cricket, no cricket of any time. Like Mugabe's going to react to that. Like he's going to go, I will remove myself from government. I already have 2020 tickets. I cannot... Gordon Brown, why you be so harsh with this nation? It's nonsense.
That was an incredible impression.
I just want to say... I know it's difficult.
Can I just say, with that level of impressionistic ability, you are going to fit right in on this show.
Gordon Brown, why you take away my cricket? OK, let me give you a hint. He doesn't speak as if he's going to turn and play something on the steel drum for 10 minutes.
He does. It went a bit West Indian.
Election and ting.
But did they tally up the votes? They are going to tally the banana.
I've never really heard him speak. Have you heard him speak?
What, so you just made up whatever accent you felt like? Why didn't you give him like a Dutch... Give him a Dutch accent or something. Make it give him like a comedy.
I'd alternatively like to do my impression of Morgan's Fangarai. No. Did you see, though, that he'd apparently gone into hiding in the Dutch embassy? Now, if they know where he is, surely he hasn't gone into hiding. You didn't go, oh, let's play hide and seek, you count to 10, and when you open your eyes, I'm in that tree over there.
Let's be honest, of all the places you're going to hide, once the Colombian embassy are too paranoid to open the door, second place is obviously the Dutch embassy, who are always willing to let anybody in case they have pizza. Just come on on, man, it's party time. What's going on out there? That's a Dutch accent. That's great.
Very good accent.
I can't tell the difference between the two.
Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features the Prince of Wales.
Good afternoon, Your Highness.
Oh, we're wearing the same thing. How terribly embarrassing.
I didn't know you had a kilt.
Well, we didn't have a kilt. It was the inquest. Oh, look, someone's been sick. Has Harry been in?
There is your luggage, Your Highness.
Oh, good. That's my cheese for the journey. That's not your cheese, you fool. That's my makeup. Are you sure?
You need a lot more than that.
The train's just about ready to go, so you sure that wasn't my cheese? I'm bloody hungry. Anyway, don't want to keep anyone waiting. Wish my mother felt the same.
Here's a good one for you. How do you tell what clan a Scotsman is? You put your hand up his kilt, and if he's got a quarter pounder, then he's a McDonald.
Well, this is your compartment, Your Highness.
Right. Why is it padded?
Your mother told us you're a dangerous lunatic.
Do you have any cheese? Big bit? About that big? Well, that was lovely. It's very good. Only one problem. Doesn't seem to have an engine.
Could it be up there?
Why would it be up there, you old trout? You don't have an engine on it. You don't have an engine up there, do you?
Well, an engine on the top... No, we don't keep the engine on the top of the train. The engine is generally at the front or the back of the train, yes.
Well, that's what I thought. It's...
I just wondered...
Well, don't. Oh, hello there. Do you have any cheese? I just want some cheese. Anyway, while they're getting me some cheese and the train is waiting for an engine, I thought I'd just tell you a few one-liners. My mother is so well, I might never be king. Knock, knock. I'll send a footman to see who's there. They call me the Prince of Wales, but I'm thinking of changing my name to the Dog and Duck. Oh, you like that? It's very good. My ex-wife was only unfaithful to me on 2 occasions. The 1980s and the 1990s. My God, you're a fucking hard audience. Anyway.
Well done, Hugh. The answer is £100 a day. What is the question?
Is it according to The Sun, how much does the average beggar make a day?
You're ruining by saying a day when it's already got a day in the answer.
Okay. Is it? Let me have another crack at that one.
Repetition of a day. Say it without a day and I'll watch.
What's happening?
Well, I was just about to.
Ed's turned into like the Microsoft paperclip. He's trying to write his letter. You're doing it wrong.
Are you doing a list?
According to The Sun, right, what does a beggar earn?
But we are apparently in the middle of a countryside crime wave. Have you seen this?
If I lived in a country, I'd be delighted if someone did a crime because I'd be bored out of my mind. Thank God you've turned up with a shotgun to steal my rhubarb. Could you kill me on the way out?
Some bloke sold rhubarb from an allotment. You have to
tag it.
Just
Why didn't they tag it?
Imagine the phone call. Just some deranged. They've taken it. It's gone. My prize-winning marrow. Is there no God? You have. Surely you
could just put rhubarb down his sleeves and then go.
Had I been there, well, you can't ever feel sorry for the. That's the lowest rung of criminality, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Let me finish. Just. I'm going to kill myself here.
Beautiful. Vintage Mock the Week. He brought up the subject just so someone else could do a joke on it. Surely he might have been working towards a punchline. You ignorant.
Jesus. I think the Microsoft get a higher chair for the joke umpire.
I have a feeling the Microsoft paperclip's taken some cocaine. But I like it.
That's great. Little animation of the paper go. Good, yes. That's a really good letter.
The point I was going to make is, surely, right, fellas, but surely if you're a bank robber, you're sexy, you're dangerous, you can get diamonds for your lover. If you steal from allotments, what hope have you got, you know? You've got dirt underneath your fingernails. All you have to offer is broccoli. You know?
Hey, a woman who's going to have sex for broccoli is going to be dirty.
I was wondering if one of the reasons they were trying to steal...
Wouldn't that be... I'm sorry to interrupt you, Andy, but wouldn't that be the...
Frankly, I wish to go on the record and say I have now lost control. Now we play a game called What on Earth? What on Earth, do you say? I've never seen this round before. Why would they introduce a brand new game on show 11 of an 11-week series? No, we're going to do it. It's going to be amazing. I show the panel a topical image from somewhere in the world and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teams, who on earth is this?
Looks a bit like Peter Kay.
He's a crazy billionaire who's bought Man City.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Does no crazy billionaire build a secret base and kill James Bond anymore? What are you going to do, Bond? I am buying Frank Lampard legally. I think it's going to be great for Man City. I can't wait to hear their team sheet being read out at 5 a.m. from the top of a mosque. Ronaldinho is injured. Yes, he is injured!
All this money they're spending on Manchester City, the team just better not play like Shiite. I'm new in town.
But it's a plaything to these guys, man, right? In 2 years' time, Manchester City will be 3-0 up in the Champions League final, and this guy will just turn to his assistant and go, I am bored now, build me a robot spaniel.
You've got to love Man City. My favourite story about Man City, without doubt, is that they wanted to name one of their stands after a famous player called Colin Bell. So they genuinely wanted a stand called Bell End. You have... that is genius, isn't it?
If you've got 135 million, don't buy Ronaldo. You could use that money to have all the good players in the other teams killed. Yeah. The end of the transfer window should be like the final scenes in The Godfather, where, like, Joe Cole just sitting in a sauna while someone strangles him with a towel.
Well, we have no love for our national team, and they clearly don't care when you see them play. What we should do is just really up the ante and just have, like, Fabio Capello there with a lion, just like that. Go, yeah, oh, you're going to run? Yeah, you're going to run, aren't you? You're going to really run. It's going to matter for wanting your... there you go.
I think it'd be
can't hold him. I can't hold him. Oh, my arms are getting tired, Wayne. My arms are getting tired.
It would actually be scarier if he just did it naked with an imaginary lion.
With a lion beyond it. Do you know those leads you get for an invisible dog, right? Which is just like a straight lead with a hoop at the end. And he's going, oh, there goes the lion. There goes the lion.
What a moment that would be on Match of the Day. Just like that, just Capello like that. Bollock naked going, whoa.
England desperately trying to get every game to go into extra time. Yeah, just lose one, he's naked again.
Well, it's never been tried, is it?
The substitutes are stripping off. No, they're not. It's actually Capella. Capella's stripping off again. Oh, no, he's got his menagerie out again. Oh, the giraffe this time, huh?
Joe Cole, it's the hawk for you! The hawk for you, Cole!
Whose number is up this week?
It's Carol Vorderman.
It is, of course, Carol
Yeah,
Vorderman.
silly old cow.
Yeah, basically...
She got paid £900,000 a year. The people that won Countdown got a T-shirt and a dictionary. And she's only there because old people find it comforting to see the same face. I think, should they be comforted? I'd like to see the person picking the letters dressed up as death. I'd like her to have stayed on, but just in a sort of couldn't care less, half-hearted way. Yeah, you've got to get 10,000 with a 5, a 7, an M.
They should just be shuffling around in a dressing gown, just swigging from a can.
She imagines she's indispensable. Oh, they'll never be able to find a younger woman who can use a calculator.
Can I just say that I once got into a lift with Carol Vorderman, absolutely hilariously. I got into a lift, Vorderman was already in the lift, and she was at the numbers. And she was actually at the numbers in the lift, and she looked at me as if to say, I'm in control of these numbers. Where do you want to go? And I think if you can't make a joke at this moment in life, you're in real trouble. So I just went, I'll have one from the top and 5 from anywhere else.
And you got trapped in a lift.
Do you know who I was really panicking now? Because Des is gone and now Carol's gone. I reckon Dictionary Corner are shitting themselves. Do you think they're unionised?
I think they'll be very pleased to be unionised because it's in fact a 9-letter word.
Yeah. It was...
Yeah.
That's quite good.
That's brilliant. Well done. Yeah, right. The next round is called Between the Lines and features Hugh and Greg. Would you make your way to the press pit, please? Greg delivers a speech in the guise of a leading figure on the world stage while Hugh translates what they really mean. Greg, you are American presidential candidate Barack Obama.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to attempt to emulate my political heroes. Luther, Kennedy, Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, what's wrong with
No, Martin Luther King is fine. It was Luther.
I love the idea your brain's just going, I can offer you the word tangerine, that is it.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to attempt to emulate my political heroes. Lincoln, Kennedy, Luther King.
I'm going to be assassinated.
Hillary is a wonderful politician, and I'm delighted to have her continued support. Loser! Loser! George Bush has been giving me some tips.
He still thinks I'm the valet. He parks his car.
I have the greatest of respect for all of Senator McCain's achievements.
Oven chips.
I will, of course... I'm sorry, I'm starting to sound like some sort of soul singer now. Yeah, we got it together, didn't we, babe?
There's just a small note from the desk that I get into my ear. Frankie, Hugh, just a tiny editorial just tweak. If we could have stuff which we actually can broadcast.
Nobody mentioned that.
They have been slagging off.
Oh, cramp, man. It's just... pulling it in each...
Sorry,
that's
you
really...
managed to get a sports injury in the first 20 minutes of the show.
Sorry.
Morris, dance it off, Russell.
Yeah, I can't, man.
You've got to lie down.
Leave me alone.
Get down, get down!
I'm trying to cross your arm. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry.
I hope somebody's videoing this for a gay website.
It's really telling that the two guests in the show ran to help while the regulars all sat here on our fat holes going, he'll bounce back.
Sorry about that.
There was a fly. There wasn't a fly. There genuinely was. There was a...
Did you catch it?
No, I didn't. What am I, the fucking Karate Kid or something? No, I didn't catch it.
Is it, in the last round of Mock the Week, scenes we'd like to see, how many goes am I going to get to go before...
To go?
To go before Russell interrupts me because I've mispronounced what I was trying to say.
The way you three, particularly like that looked like the evolution of man.
We could be walking like that. We'll have to turn that way.
Saying, weren't they, that Hurricane Katrina was down to... I'll start that again.
What were they saying,
I've got goo. I've got goo all over my face.
What?
Not the first time either.
Don't say that, mate.
Ding, ding. Yeah.
Do you think I look like Pierce Brosnan with a mouthful of sweets?
At the end of that round... OK, sorry, I'll do it without slouching quite as much.
At the end of the round, bring me more wine.
You should be ironing your shirt, right? You're just there.
In a vest, like a fat Marlon Brando at the end of his career. What? Oh, yeah. Points for Russell, and then back.
As it's the last week, let's just have you with, like, a rotisserie chicken.
OK. The next topic is things you didn't hear at the Olympics.
I am the little girl from the opening ceremony. This is my real voice.
That gymnast is so supple. If my wife could do that, we'd still be together.
Chinese athlete with number 36 in his chest. That means he's a chicken chow mein.
And it's gold for Ireland!
Well, that'll be low marks for synchronicity, but high marks for execution. Clean shot to the head, backwards off the board, pool full of blood, magnificent.
Next, over to Gabby Logan, who's going to tell us whether or not she's a transvestite.
And it...
Go again, man, go again. Do it.
And I'm not letting you off for the last Ireland joke. You're not getting on again for the rest of the show. You are not doing another one for the rest of the show, all right?
You've just been...
Oh, let's look at the clock. It's more interesting than the show jumping.
The one thing we're all thinking during the Olympics, doesn't Claire Balding look like Eddie Izzard?
Nobody can touch this Russian gymnast except their coach and their uncle.
And here comes...
Well, what a morning. We've got medals in the Yingling, Tiddly and Poe.
Next, the rhythmic gymnastics. You might want to start beating out your own rhythm at home.
And here...
And the French have 4 faults. Their language, their food, underarm hair, and the fact that they are French.
A surprise in the canoeing, where the British athlete has gone missing.
It was after I heard the buzzer that I realised there was one thing I hadn't heard at the Olympics, right, was fuck it.
The next topic is things that would change the atmosphere at a dinner party.
Ignore the banging. She's been in there for 24 years.
Help yourself to Nibbles. He was our favourite hamster, but it's what he would have wanted.
Are you sure this is pork? It's just because Mike Crackling has a tattoo.
Don't worry, we don't say grace. We just sacrifice a child to the great god Imhotep.
Doorbell! Excellent, that'll be Heather Mills and James Blunt. Hope he's brought his guitar.
I hope nobody's allergic to nuts, because I like to rest mine on the table.
Well, this is absolutely lovely. I say we all raise a glass to the Fuhrer!
10 of you arrived. Only one will leave.
Anyway, long story short, after about 2 hours, you couldn't tell what was poo and what was chocolate.
There is a vegetarian option. You can fuck off.
Hello and welcome to this special Christmas edition of Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Tonight we'll have our panel's thoughts on the festive season and some of our favourite moments from the last series, as well as some bonus bits we've never shown before. Hope you enjoyed them. Do you enjoy Christmas? Do you like the holiday season?
Why isn't there any decoration on the set?
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Without any decoration, boys?
Yeah. Christmas is here.
Nothing.
That's... I've just
Nothing
thought of a
makes
slight...
Christmas more than a miserable Scot just going...
Do it now. This should be the opening of the Olympic ceremony. That'll be good.
Well, do you enjoy the Christmas?
I hate Christmas. It's like the opening sequence of Saving Private Ryan, except every third person is a woman puking into a handbag. People queuing to get into Yates's wine lodge. That sums up Christmas. You're queuing to get into somewhere shit. Just women who are praying for the invention of the morning after Bacardi Breezer.
You make Christmas specials a lot differently than we do in Australia.
Yeah.
Cynicism. This is the most miserable Christmas thing I've ever been involved in. This is my worst Christmas.
OK, now we play a game called What on Earth? I show the panel a topical image from somewhere in the world and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teens, what on earth is this?
This is actually what goes on inside crackers.
Is this a photo of the sperm in Santa's testicles?
Maybe it's a picture of us in 30 years' time.
Oh, God,
Yeah,
but
for the
still in
grace of
show
God.
business. This is a convention of professional Father Christmases in America held recently. The Amalgamated Order of Real Bearded Santas have fallen out with members of other groups, such as the Red Suit Society, over accusations of unethical behaviour and unfair booking fees.
You've got to think about the commitment that it takes. Look at those men. This is not a 1 month a year thing. This is 12 months a year. They look like arseholes. Right? They don't always dress like that, but they do always have that beard.
What would you do? What would you do if someone turned up in your house, right, in your bedroom, dressed as Santa Claus?
At this age?
Yeah. Would you take the risk that maybe this is Santa? Or would you beat him to death? Perhaps killing Santa? Personally, I would hedge my bets and make love to him.
Well, while you're doing that, be sure to give the beard a good yank. So at least you'll know if he's in the proper amalgamated order.
Surely you could question him. Surely there's something between killing him and making love to him. Surely there's some other path you can take.
I think I've bisected it directly.
What an amazing Crime Watch reconstruction that would be as well. Just a blacked out Santa. I was only trying to give him presents.
By the way, there is genuinely... I mean, they've fallen out. There's a unionised group of Santas who've fallen out with another unionised, and they're taking court cases against each other. There's threats against each other.
Well, of course they're fighting, because there can only be one real Santa. I'm not sure they're not going to get along.
What is particularly good is that one union of Santa Claus doesn't believe in the existence of the other union of Santa Claus.
What if you let him go? What if you let him go? You accepted his story that he was Santa Claus.
Oh, he's still in your room.
Surely the next step for that Santa is going to be him at the next house weeping on the floor. It's what happened, Santa?
No, there is. It is. It's just the hideous commercialisation of it all.
I was in my local Tesco's. It was September, and they were selling Christmas stuff. September, they were selling Christmas cake, Christmas pudding, and mince pies. And I swear this is true. Mince pies with a best before date of November the 12th. Now, explain that one. Oh, we can have a mince pie any day of the year. You only have them at Christmas, and you don't even like them then. In the same shop, do you know what was really sad? They were selling single slices of Christmas cake. Well done on awing. That is the most depressing... not even 2 slices, maybe for a couple, couldn't be arsed making a cake. No, 1 slice for you and your no pals. That is miserable. It's the image of some guy going, I'll have that after me Bernard Matthews turkey drummer. Standing on one end of a Christmas cracker.
What if he's wearing the Santa jerkin, but he's got no trousers on and a balaclava? What then?
He's a half-naked burglar with a red jacket on. This is changing all the time.
Maybe that's how Santa got killed in the first place. Maybe one night he went...
Santa get killed?
But at the beginning of the show, I'm Frankie Boyle, and this is a very different Mock the Week.
That's exactly how I was hoping this would pan out.
How has Robbie Coltrane been helping the police authorities in New Zealand?
Oh, is this the thing about the police in New Zealand said there was a burglar who's a 16-year-old boy, and they said he looks like Robbie Coltrane, so they've released a picture of Robbie Coltrane If I was a 16-year-old...
Yes, generally true.
If I was a 16-year-old who looked like Robbie Coltrane, the only crime I'd be considering would be suicide. How's he squeezing into people's houses, anyway? Oh, I knew we shouldn't have gone out and left the roof off.
The poster reads, Robbie Coltrane is not the burglar, but imagine him aged 16 with lank, greasy hair, and you have the picture.
Does it look like someone who's got a suspension bridge coming out of his ears?
When I was out there, the front page was, in fact, a bloke had got done for dangerous driving, right? And he'd actually didn't have a licence, and the reason he didn't have a licence is he didn't have any arms, right? He was actually driving with one foot on the steering wheel and one foot changing the gears, right? But that wasn't the best bit of the story. The best bit of the story was sat next to him was another passenger, right, with all his limbs, sober, and with a driving licence. You'd have loved to hear that conversation. Or which one shall I drive? Oh, OK, let's toss for it. All right, you toss. I've got no arms.
It's the impact of political correctness, isn't it? The other guy was thinking, I can't mention the fact that he's got no arms. I can't say you mustn't drive because you've got no arms. That's the most offensive thing I could say to a no-armed man. I think it shows how polite everyone there is.
My theory about this case is that the whole thing is an amazing double bluff by Robbie Coltrane. I think if you robbed a post office with a Darryl Breen face mask, would you get caught?
Listen, they'll be in every shop at Christmas.
Halloween, I think you'll find.
I think it's interesting, though, who you get mistaken for, because occasionally people get, us wrong. I reckon he's the Proclaimers, yeah? David Coulthard, for some bizarre reason which I don't really understand. Jesus. Dobby the house elf. I reckon he looks a bit like Kevin Peterson. He looks very like David Mitchell from Mitchell and Webb.
Here we go.
Russell, I don't know. Who?
There you go.
You've been mistaken for anyone?
Any one of a number of mostly gay presenters that have been on telly.
I think Andy is a bit like a cross between Smith and Jones.
Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh in Turkey.
Oh, Your Majesty, welcome to our country. We've put on a special show for you. These are the Istanbul regional winners of Turkey's Got No Talent. It's you like, yes.
Yes, that's very good. Certainly much better than our piss-awful Olympic handover ceremony.
Your Majesty, look, flying carpet, shit. No, it is meant to fly. This one is broken. Anyway...
Yes, well...
It's a magnificent carpet. It is hard-wearing, very good for sweeping things under, like who is Prince Harry's real father? You want? You want to buy? Maybe you buy it for Charles, for Christmas present.
No way. Last year he gave me a DIY home euthanasia kit.
Oh, what's going on, Lizzie? What's he trying to flog you? Leave it to me. I know how to deal with foreigners. Right, Mustafa. What is it, a carpet? I'll give you a quid for it.
Quid? No, it costs 10 times that to make it. Don't you take that tone with me. I don't have to be here, you know. I could be watching the beach volleyball at the Olympics.
Anyway, the man from Del Monte, he say, piss off. Oh, no, this is more like it. It's all right, Tommy Cooper. I'll have a cornetto. Yes. I tell you what you've done. You put bloody polyfiller in the ice cream again. I'll have a 99 with flake. 99 with flake. Can you understand? 99 with flake. I want a 99 with flake. 99 with flake. Oh, never mind. Bloody, you can't get the service. Oh, this is more like it. Miniatures. Okay, yes. I'll have 1,000 of the Glenfiddich. Yes.
These aren't miniatures. These are chess pieces.
Chess pieces? What the bloody hell are you talking about? I know a miniature when I see one. I'll have 300 of the Glenmorangie. Stick them in a brown paper bag. Not a word to the wife. Yes.
You want a beautiful queen?
Of course I want a beautiful queen. Can I swap?
Well done, you. OK. Speaking of China, what's going on here?
It's a little bit of fun.
It is exactly what you think it is. It is a panda on a rocking chair eating crisps.
Are they really sad because they haven't got a 50p to put in the machine?
It's not actually a panda, is it? It's some bloke who's got pissed on a stag night.
And the other two? Or is that the green one?
The green one's the reason why pandas are endangered. Because that's a male panda sitting on it, but he was given the option of the two panda bitches. He went, no, I'm going to nail this green one.
Because these are pandas in the region of China that was affected by the earthquake. The zoo isn't getting any business at all at the moment because obviously it's not a priority for people. So in order to get some publicity, they've decided to make the pandas eat crisps. Well, it's a brilliant idea.
Why are those pandas in a play park?
Well,
are they like bad teenage pandas that are spoiling the play park for the little baby pandas? Hey, what flavour are your crisps, man? Your mother! Your mother flavour! Where's Gary? Text him. Let's bash the swings, man.
Are they really sad because they haven't got...
That, as a first effort at whimsy, was great. It was really, really
I've tried.
Good. You did. I really think you tried with the whimsy. And then
It's
just
not there.
couldn't
It's
give
just
a
not in my
fuck.
soul. I can see those pandas shot.
Is this the bit that's going to go in?
Yeah. This is a bit that's going into the Christmas special.
There's also...
Happy Christmas, kids. I see those pandas shot.
My dad used to work for Qantas. He was cabin crew. And the best thing, my favourite thing I've ever heard, I think, about Christmas is that he was... So every second Christmas as a kid, my dad was away because he was flying. That was the way it worked with Qantas. And this one particular year told me that they were flying on Christmas night. And in the middle of the night, the captain, the pilot basically called him up and said, listen, in about 5 minutes I'm going to ask you to turn all the lights up because everyone was asleep. So he went, yeah, all right. He said, don't ask, just do it. So 5 minutes, my dad turned the lights up, everyone woke up and the captain came on and said, ladies and gentlemen, sorry to wake you in the middle of the night, but we've had a special request on the radar. There's a special person flying around the world tonight who wants to come on board. So if all the kids are awake, he's coming down. And then the pilot just jiggled the joystick. And the plane went, and he went, he just landed. And then out of the cockpit came Santa and did the whole lap of the aeroplane, gave out presents to all the kids, and then went back into the cockpit. And then the captain said, now we have to give him a bit of a run-up, so I'm going to speed up a little bit. And he actually pushed forward on the engines, and all the kids just went
No wonder Qantas planes have got a big hole in them.
That would be an amazing way to hijack a plane, wouldn't it? Just take over the Santa. Yes, Christmas is over. I've got 6 presents for you here.
Trying to bring some Christmas joy.
On an apocalyptic note, why do some people fear that the end of the world is going to happen next Wednesday?
Because it might well do.
Oh,
because they've created a giant black hole machine in Switzerland. A machine that could create a black hole that will end the universe.
Well, that is the greatest bit of timing I've ever seen in my life.
The Large Hadron Collider in CERN in Switzerland starts on Wednesday.
Or to give it its proper name, the black hole machine.
They've taken all necessary precautions.
No, they haven't.
They haven't taken the necessary precaution of not doing it, though, have they?
There's a 1 in 50 million chance that it could create a black hole which will end the universe. Now, I would argue that if there's any chance of that, like if my kid said to me, can I get a train set up in the loft? I would go, OK. If could I get a train set that might end the universe? I'd say, what about a bike?
So you'd prefer it if they got the protons and then cycled them round the tunnel on a bicycle?
The thing is, I'm sure they're going to find out some interesting things about protons, but I would add, I don't give a fuck.
I think if the...
I think they've taken all the necessary safety precautions,
It might create a tiny black hole, right, which is the worst type of black hole, because we'll all get drawn slowly towards Switzerland. And every week this desk will be like 2 feet further over there. And then eventually we'll just look one week and Russell have been replaced by just the jaws of infinity.
Why was that directed at me, Frank? The jaws of infinity. I thought we were going to see a cow and chocolate and we'd be in Switzerland, but all of a sudden my eyeballs are sucked out of my face. Just for sitting nearest to the audience?
You thought
Why
that
am I the first to go?
You're nearest to Switzerland. We tilted it around during the show so that you be the one closest to Switzerland.
Well, this is bullshit now.
No one's going to die. It's basically...
He just told me I'm going to die on telly.
He looked at telly. My God, I hope you have the cameras rolling when it happens. That'll be incredible. Just him going, "Wah!" and clinging on to the desk, right? While we hammer at his fingers. Go! Go proudly! No. Go, Russell! Go, Brett.
You'd be like that. There's more space on scenes we'd like to see.
That's not going to work, though, is it? Because what they're looking for is a thing called the Higgs boson.
Yes.
Is that right? Which
Yes,
is
it
a
is.
subatomic particle, which is, lasts for a million trillionth of a second. It's incredibly small. Most of the scientists I've ever met would have trouble finding a clitoris. They're not going to find that.
Well, OK, they don't find the Higgs boson by just rooting around and checking on their desks. I'm sure there's a Higgs boson
Are you
somewhere.
saying that's your method for finding the clitoris? Well, I'll root around, and if it's not there, I'll check the desk.
The worst Christmas present I ever got was the year... I really, really wanted a game called Battling Tops, where you fired these sort of spinning sort of gyroscopes into the middle of a thing and they battled and it was fantastic. It was plastic, it was brilliant. And I don't think my parents could afford it. And I was aware that my dad was sort of in the shed for weeks before Christmas. And I was still thinking, I'm going to get Battling Tops. It's not much. They'll get me Battling Tops. On Christmas Day, I opened this thing, which obviously wasn't. It was the wrong shape. And what my dad had been making for about 3 months was a shove halfpenny board, which is the most boring pub game, where you have to push halfpennies so they get between lines on a piece of wood.
So how old are you? This is like a story from Dickens.
What work is involved in making a sharp halfpenny board? You buy a flat piece of wood and you draw some lines on it.
Yeah, and you have to drill the hole to put the halfpennies in so you can keep it as a sort of a kit.
And you, what was your response when your dad gave that to you?
I think I couldn't help myself but go, oh... or something. I felt really guilty about it ever since. And I kept that sharp halfpenny board for far longer than I would ever have kept Battling Tops. But I think I've probably still got it in the loft somewhere.
God, I could cry now.
Just the image of Hugh looking exactly the same, but in shorts, just playing with a wooden hoop. 2 weeks ago, we discussed in the show the activation of the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland and the possibly worrying consequences, such as Russell being dragged into a black hole because he's the one near Switzerland. In response to that, Felix, aged 11, from Watford, sent in this picture.
God! Holy...
Now, it is, as you can tell, the Mock studio being attacked by Daleks. Certain details you should observe here. Russell doesn't fall into the black hole, but he gets vaporised by the Daleks first. But the black hole is just behind him here. I don't fare much better, to be honest. I'm killed by a Dalek over my shoulder. The worrying detail that Felix has picked up on is Frankie's role, where Frankie is, in fact, the king of the Daleks. God bless.
I'm not the king of the Daleks, I'm their creator, Dara.
My grandmother's hearing started to go towards the end of her life, and we have a thing in Australia called Carols by Candlelight, which is on Christmas Eve. It's broadcast. Everyone sits out in a park, holding candles, singing Christmas carols in bushfire season. And we were watching it one year, and the announcer said, coming up next is that classic Christmas carol, Deck the Halls. And my grandmother just kicked off. She went, I've never heard of that. I went, what? You sing it every year? She went, no, I don't. I went, Nan, we sing this every year. She went, I've never sung that in my life. I went, Nan, it's a Christmas carol. And she snapped and went, I've never sung Dick the Horse. We lost our shit for like 10 minutes, at which point my Uncle Chris just stood up and went, Dick the Horse eats lots of lollies, fa la 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 la. We sang that every Christmas for the next 15 years. To the point where when my grandmother passed away, and my grandfather had to go to the cemetery, and there was a little plaque for her, and he said, well, you know, we'll have this font, and this is the message we'd like, and this is everything we'd like written on it. And as he walked off, the woman went, oh, you can have an image engraved on the plaque, you can have a flower or a bird. And she opened up a book and went, you can have a horse. And he went, we're having a horse! I did it. I said something that no one took the piss out of.
Oh, genuinely nice. Which sporting leader has recently thrown in the towel?
Michael Vaughan.
It is Michael Vaughan.
Yeah.
And who's Michael Vaughan?
Michael Vaughan is the the ex-England cricket captain.
Oh, wow, I'm so bored that my heart has stopped. My heart has actually stopped.
What have the MOD lost this week?
Is it laptop sugar?
Yes, sweet cheeks it is. The people have to know eventually about it.
Yeah.
Flash!
Oh, my balls have just dropped.
Oh, you're right, shit.
Hang on.
Nothing to do
Did
with me.
you do that, Dennis?
Nothing to do with me.
That's just brought home the brutality of this round.
Yeah. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performance stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on topic. OK, fine. Points will be awarded for... Yeah, usual shit. OK, points will be made up by me. Who gets tense about this? I just give points randomly. Stop writing in about the points. I didn't think they were the funniest. I don't know why they won that round.
What's going on over there?
Oh, I'm sorry. We've shifted the attention from you. We start with... fucking hell, that was a bit stupid, isn't it?
It's one of the best starts we've
That
ever
was
had.
really, I mean, really going well, and then
Honestly, I think you could have got away with that.
This week, Michael, is Boris Johnson.
I can't do the voice.
That's absolutely fine. Just go for it, go for
You
it.
can't do the voice. You have the voice.
No, I know.
In fact, with some peroxide, we could do the look as well.
All right, let me just come out of me and into Boris.
Well,
I think you want to rephrase that.
That was like the most charming threat I've ever seen.
Is it how long will it take to finish this round? Because I've run out of fucking jokes.
Wow. That is acclaim from the crowd.
Do you want me to put that back?
What? Oh, sorry, yeah.
A little bit of furniture. I'm good at that.
No, it wasn't. The mic is fine. It was the fact that you had a big discussion about how good your mic stand moving was. That's
You did it really well. You did it really well.
he did well. Listen, I'm not saying we shouldn't acclaim the mic moving
You
work.
could have moved your fat ass over and done it yourself. That'll be no points for me in the next round.
So after that disappointing start from Andy Parsons, let's see if Russell can turn it around. OK, the next topic is unlikely letters for an agony aunt to receive.
Dear Deirdre, I'm leaving you.
I want to trace my father. Could you suggest a good marker pen?
I have recently discovered the pleasures of butter in sex. I smear it on the doorknob to stop the kids coming in.
My voice is breaking and there is hair on my chest. Is this normal? Yours, Sally Jenkins, age 9.
Dear bitch, I have trouble making friends. What are you going to do about it?
Dear Deirdre, can that giant man lift me up like a baby?
You bet your ass he can.
I have been saving up for a sex change. I don't care what my wife says. She is going to have it.
Dear Auntie, my testicles are the size of space hoppers. I don't need any advice. I just wanted to tell someone.
My husband and I are 82, and he has recently lost interest in sex. Thank God!
My wife says that I'm a compulsive liar. I think she's jealous that my reggae duet with Rio Ferdinand has reached #1.
I know where you live!
My problem is that I can only ejaculate when I hear a buzzer.
The next topic is things you don't want to hear at Christmas.
I thought we'd have a vegetarian dinner!
It's exactly what I wanted. Princess Diana Scalextrics.
Ding dong merrily on high.
Now, you know that I told you that Dad died in his canoe?
I'm sorry, there was no chimney, so I came through the central heating system. I think I've buggered your boiler.
She's not my granny, and she's not your granny. Whose granny is she?
This year, I have decided to give my Christmas broadcast completely naked.
Mummy, look what we found in these stockings. Daddy.
Did you know that if we took all the money we spent on presents every year and gave it to the homeless, they'd probably spend it on booze?
Oh, yes, this year we're pushing the boat out. We're having a duck, in a goose, in a turkey, in a dog, in a horse, in an old lady.
We've got a problem. Mum doesn't know whether Slutty Vixens 3 is a play, a TV show, or a film.
You know, there are so many unwanted dogs about at Christmas. This year we thought, why bother with a turkey?
Bad news for children. Father Christmas has gone into administration.
Who wants stuffing? Granny?